Today, we are unpacking something truly fascinating in the digital economy. We're looking at why wildly successful creators sometimes choose to completely walk away from what looks like absolute ultimate success just to start all over again. I mean, it sounds totally counterintuitive, right? Why on earth would you abandon the peak just to go all the way back down to the valley? Well, today we are going to explore the journey of two creators who did exactly that. They left a massive thriving audience behind to find their true lane as what we are going to call contentpreneurs. Okay, let's dive into this. 1.3 million. That is the massive subscriber count that brothers Mike and Maddie built. And get this, they did it after making the radical decision to quit medical school. They went absolutely all in on YouTube, and they rapidly generated a business pulling in $30,000 a month. Now from the outside looking in, that's the dream, right? They had the momentum, they had the massive audience, and they had serious revenue coming in. But behind that massive vanity metric was a really dark reality. Behind the scenes, the creators actually admitted I was bleeding cash running a chaotic business. That huge subscriber count, it was completely masking a brutal truth. They were pulling 80-hour work weeks, which is honestly more than they would have worked as medical residents, and it led to severe burnout. Plus, because they were no longer medical students, they were totally disconnected from what their core audience actually needed. They were basically trying to solve problems they couldn't even relate to anymore. Alright, let's get into section 1, the million subscriber illusion. You know, the hidden trap of chasing vanity metrics and optimizing for all the wrong goals can honestly snare anyone building a brand today. For Mike and Maddie, their huge wake-up call happened at the TNC marketing conference. One of the brothers was just standing around in a group of marketers when a girl made this totally offhanded comment. She casually assumed that because they had 1 million subscribers, they must absolutely be making $1 million or more a year. And when a friend turned to him and asked if they actually were, he had to admit they weren't. Ouch. That innocent little comment stung deeply, but it forced him to step back and ask himself, what exactly had we been optimizing for this entire time? And this brilliantly illustrates the result of that misguided optimization, what they literally called the blob of chaos. Look, because they just didn't know any better during their massive growth spurt, they did what they assume successful businesses are supposed to do. They just mindlessly expanded. They threw in digital courses, a coaching product, merchandise, wallets, brand integrations, all of it pulling them in a dozen different directions at once. It wasn't a cohesive, smart business model. It was just an exhausting, draining mess. And the chaos wasn't just mental, it was incredibly painful financially. They actually wasted a staggering $150,000 building a completely pointless website. Yeah, let that sink in. With their expenses rising every single month and their profit margins just shrinking away, the business was literally heading into the red. And this realization led to a decision that most people would find unthinkable. They completely shut down their 1.3 million subscriber channel and just walked away from that community. Moving on to section 2, stepping back to move forward. So how in the world do you recover from throwing away a massive audience? Well, you definitely don't just jump into the next chaotic venture. You have to humble yourself. So the crucial point is perfectly captured in this mountain climbing analogy by Naval Ravikant. Imagine you spend your whole life climbing a mountain and you get about 2/3 of the way up. You can clearly see the peak way above you, but to actually reach it, you suddenly realize your current path is a dead end. You literally have to go all the way back down to the valley to find the right path up to the summit. Retreating totally feels like failing, but it is actually a mandatory strategic maneuver to reach your ultimate goal. Here's how that retreat played out for them in real life. They went from medical school to massive YouTube stardom, and then they got a regular semi-corporate job at a company called Spotter. Now, Spotter works with massive YouTube stars like Mr. Beast and Dude Perfect. Taking a lower paying behind the scenes job definitely felt like going backward, but they reframed it. They treated this job exactly like a grueling medical residence. They were basically interns again, sucking it up to learn from the people who actually understood how the creator economy really worked. Working behind the scenes, they quickly shattered all their illusions. It was a massive dose of the Dunning-Kruger effect. Despite running a channel with over 1 million subscribers, they realized they actually understood very, very little about the broader creator economy. They had been playing a completely different game than the true professionals. The massive gap between what they thought they knew and what was actually happening behind the scenes with top creators was just staggering. To highlight exactly how deep that skill gap was, listen to this specific anecdote. They spent 90 straight minutes on a call with a YouTube expert named Jay Alto, intensely debating one single video title and thumbnail. 90 minutes. The sheer amount of detail, the depth, and the critical creative thinking required to make an extraordinary product completely blew their minds. They realized this was the level of mastery they had to achieve to finally bridge that gap from amateur to true industry professional. Section 3, Entertainers versus Entrepreneurs. Getting all those reps in at Spotter led them to a really pivotal realization about industry alignment. It's all about knowing what game you actually want to play. Working with the biggest names in the space, they noticed a massive divide. On one side, you have your creators. These guys focus on pure entertainment, massive scale, and transactional brand deals, pushing things like fast food or mobile carriers. But on the other side, you have entrepreneurs. They focus on education, solving highly specific problems, and building lasting intellectual property. Mike and Maddie realized that pushing transactional deals just didn't align with their values. Their true mission was always about educating and empowering people. They also discovered a completely fresh perspective on networking. Look, being a solo creator talking to a camera all day in a room is incredibly lonely. By actually showing up to an office and attending industry events in real life, they realized that true leverage isn't about just collecting context to scale a business. It's about finding genuine human connection. It's about doing business with ambitious people who actually feel like your homies. It's about aligning with random strangers who happen to share your exact vision and vibe. Now for Section 4, the power of going narrow. Armed with this brand new perspective and quietly building up their skills, reality suddenly hit them hard. An unexpected company shutdown forced a massive do-or-die pivot. The AI project they were building at Spotter just abruptly ended. So they were faced with a very high-stakes ultimatum. They looked at their financial runway and realized they had exactly 1 month to build their own leverage, or they'd be forced to go right back into a volatile job market and work for someone else all over again. They decided to bet entirely on themselves, relying on the refined skills and the clarity they'd built over that past year. Let's move to and see how this builds. Remember that massive blob of chaos from earlier? Well, they decided to do the exact opposite of that. They went narrower than what even feels comfortable. Step 1, target one specific person. In their case, ambitious entrepreneurs who want to build brand authority but just don't know how. Step 2, solve exactly one problem, creating beautiful, memorable, educational content IP on YouTube. And Step 3, have exactly one offer to solve it. That's it. One person, one problem, one offer. Now what's really interesting about this slide is the immediate result of that hyper-focused strategy, $250,000. They generated that staggering amount in just their first couple of months by totally abandoning the old be everything to everybody approach and instead applying their deep, newly acquired industry knowledge to a very, very narrow niche. They generated massive revenue almost instantly. Suddenly, marketing became easier, content creation became easier, and their conversion rates absolutely skyrocketed. Finally, Section 5, building your true leverage. This whole journey proves that stepping backward to learn isn't failing. It is literally the ultimate setup for long-term success. As we look at YouTube's landscape moving into 2026, the platform itself is shifting to explicitly reward highly specific channels. The focus isn't just on broad entertainment anymore. It's shifting entirely to audience transformations. There's a massive high demand right now for educational content IP. To help others navigate the shift, Mike and Maddie even built a free AI tool to help creators find clarity on their own direction. Ultimately, success today requires owning your own leverage, your skills, your clarity, and your specific value proposition. Going backward helps them build a much calmer and highly profitable business, which leaves us with this final thought. We've seen how walking away from 1.3 million subscribers and starting completely over built a much calmer, highly profitable, and purpose-driven business. So I want to leave you with this question. What mountain are you currently climbing right now? And is it maybe time to go back down to the valley to find your true lane? Now that you know your path to success, go ahead and continue to watch and see how to utilize your targeted traffic to build. Thanks for watching the video this far. I'm excited to share with you an in-depth article on how to create, share, and monetize lead magnets effortlessly, all without technical skills or expensive tools. This article dives deep into the essential steps for building an audience genuinely interested in your brand. It's designed to help you leverage the skills you already have to create and launch a profitable digital business today. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your approach, this guide offers valuable insights to set you on the right path. And one of the key topics covered is why manual outreach and legacy systems can't keep up. You will learn that speed is a vital component of lead conversion. Research shows that responding to a lead within minutes rather than hours dramatically increases the likelihood of a successful sale. The fact that manual systems lack the agility required to pivot when audience behavior changes shows how Lead Creator can address this need. The article helps you pinpoint what your audience truly needs and how your unique skills can meet those needs effectively, ensuring your product stands out in a crowded market. Next, the article explores how to craft compelling content that resonates with your audience and drives sales. It emphasizes the importance of storytelling, clarity, and authenticity in your messaging. You'll learn techniques to create content that not only educates but also emotionally connects with your potential customers. This approach helps build trust and encourages engagement, which are essential for transforming interest into actual purchases. Another vital aspect discussed is effective packaging, how to present your knowledge in a captivating way that appeals to your target market. Alongside this, the article outlines strategies for building a marketing plan that truly connects with the eager buyers. It covers everything from branding and positioning to choosing the right channels for promotion. These insights empower you to showcase your digital product's value clearly and attract the right audience consistently. Finally, the article addresses the challenges new creators often face and offers advice on staying motivated and focused throughout the journey. Launching a digital product can be demanding, but with the right mindset and strategies, you can overcome obstacles and keep progressing. This section provides encouragement and practical tips to help you maintain momentum and achieve long-term success. So go ahead and click on the link below to get started today and turn your ideas into impactful digital products.